Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Two Dudes and a Mexican. I'm your host, some dude named Victor Salazar. To the left of me, some dude named Peter Soprano.
What up?
To the right of me, our resident Mexican, David Quinones.
Hola, mi gente.
Before we start, got some good news. Looks like we'll be on YouTube sometime soon once we get the kinks worked out. So obviously, as you should have already done, I don't see those subscribers spiking up.
Yeah,
I'm going to go on Twitter and
it's going to be live, too.
Beat the shit out of all you guys.
Yeah.
YouTube.com, 2 dudes and a Mexican.
Yep.
You know, TWO, dudes and a Mexican. Hit subscribe, you get Peace Corner, you get this. You also get to see this nice shiny belt because we are the undisputed kings of talking shit. So, that will stay there. A little rundown of our show. You know, a lot's going on in the NFL. Obviously, the MLB is in full gear. The one CS is over. The other CS is 2-1. And then we got the college football and a little boxing sprinkled in. But first, just a quick recap of Sunday. Chiefs lose their second straight game. Dave was right on pretty much everything last week. Dave,
I was wrong on the Chiefs. Though. I did have the Chiefs.
You did? Yeah. I don't think we picked that game though. I think we.
Well,
just
I actually said the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I thought the Chiefs.
But either way,
you were good last
you said the Redskins would win. You said the Niners would win. You said the Vikings would win. So, shout out to you.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
On fire.
Sometimes it's good to show up. Shout out to Dre for showing up today.
Dre's alive.
He actually showed up.
So,
it was a hologram. That wasn't him.
It wasn't him.
That wasn't him.
A fucking hologram.
That was a hologram.
So, shout out to Dave for kicking ass this weekend.
Definitely.
What's wrong with the Chiefs, Dave, since you said you did pick them, and this is the second straight game where, I don't know, Patty Mahomes, that ankle's looking a little nimble. Mm-hmm. That defense is looking Swiss cheese.
Yeah. I think the big difference, obviously, is their defense. It's a huge difference from last year. And it almost seems like, Patty Mahomes is not himself. Obviously, there's talk around the league that he's playing with an injured ankle. Doesn't look the same. That offensive line is not playing that great either. So, you see him getting banged up. He's getting hit a lot. Defenses are taking shots at him. So, he just got Tyreek Hill back, who had a big game on Sunday, which that helped. I was very happy. So, but it almost seems like they don't have that player, that running back, to take some pressure off of Mahomes, right? So obviously he had Kareem Hunt.
He's in Cleveland.
So he's in Cleveland now. You have the Williamses. It almost seems like they don't have that running game. They don't have that running back to take some pressure off of Patty Mahomes. It's all on him right now. So,
what are your thoughts on what Dave said, Pete, that they don't have the running back, even though we've known Andy Reid to be sort of the running back whisperer, as they say now, the whisperer.
Yeah, I'm not worried about their running backs at all. What I'm worried about is just their defense, the thing that he touched on before. They actually seem to have gotten worse from last year, and they weren't that great last year. We saw how the Patriots kind of took them apart for like 2.5, 3 quarters, and a lot of teams took them apart last year. But the problem is that they just can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. They brought in pass rushers so they can stop this type of stuff, and they still can't get to Deshaun Watson, even though Deshaun Watson has a below-average offensive lineman. So it's just unthinkable that you brought in all this stuff on defense and you still look the same, if not worse. So that's the biggest part of them. If they want to be able to be an actual true Super Bowl contender, they got to be able to get to the quarterback. They got to be able to stop the run a little, at least stop it a little bit. Like right now, they're just letting everybody go on them. And they are not successful.
They're not successful. So moving along, we were all wrong on the Cowboys and Jets game.
That was crazy.
Sam Darnold back from having that enlarged spleen, back from mono. The running jokes didn't be that all season long, Pete.
Why are you pointing at me?
So you're never going to get away from it. Surprising.
We're always going to go back to that.
You're always going back to that, You guys, 1-0. I don't know what happened.
Guys, am I part of the team now? What the hell?
I don't know. Are you like?
No.
Are you part of the entourage?
No.
I think he's part of the entourage. I think he's part of the entourage.
I'm gonna go there in a couple of weeks.
I think. So Sam Darnold gets injured again.
I didn't confirm anything. Yeah.
So Sam Darnold gets injured again.
We know who to blame.
So
I got to record when I go out there now.
Leading right into that, Jets. 7-point underdogs at home, beat the Cowboys. How is Jason Garrett still employed, Dave?
I don't know. I mean, I guess Jerry Jones is going to just stick with him.
He's got more pitchers than one under each girl.
I mean, listen, obviously the Cowboys had high expectations before the year started. There was the issue with Zeke, but they worked it out. Dak Prescott looked great first 2 games coming out. They predicted this defense to be a really, really good defense, probably one of the top defenses in the league, and they're just looking flat every week. And this past week was really surprising. I didn't think they had a shot. I didn't think they had a shot. So I don't know if Garrett finishes the season, man. If they keep going the way they're going.
House says you're talking too much today. That's funny.
Oscars now.
It's funny, but we asked Dave to talk a lot more. Now he's doing it, and House throwing a flag at him.
Producer, man. What producer.
But I mean, I think Jason Garrett should be fired.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I don't think Jerry cares. I don't think Jerry is like. I don't think Jerry Jones is like George Steinbrenner. I don't think he cares about winning. I think he cares about making money, and as long as the suites are filled up,
Jerry's World
is pumping money out. I don't think he cares. So as long as that's going to be in play, if you're complacent and you just care about money, like my guy James Dolan, if you're complacent, you always have your hands on the team, thinking you're a football mind when you're not, thinking you're a basketball mind, James Dolan, when you're not, these results are going to happen. And Jason Garrett arguably should have been fired maybe a couple years ago. But until then, this is what you're going to get, Cowboys fans. I mean, good for me, good for us, good for the Giant fans, but this is what you're going to get. You guys started out the gate 3-0, right? You played horrible teams. You played us. We were terrible. You played the Redskins. You played the Dolphins. And you played 2 good teams, and you played a mediocre team in the Jets. And wow. I mean, I don't know, Pete. What is it going to take for Jason Garrett to get fired?
You know what the thing is? I disagree a little bit in terms of I think that he actually does want to win. I think Jerry Jones is one of those guys, one of those owners that is an old school owner that wants to win. Obviously, he's happy making money, but I do think
he's more happy making money than actually winning.
Well, I think a lot of people are, but I do think that he actually does want to win. The problem with their team is, yes, you fired a coach. Yes, you fired a coach, but that won't help everything because the problem is on defense. Sam Darnold went in the post-game press conference and pretty much did what Deshaun Watson's been doing every week. He pretty much said, this is how easy it is to beat the Dallas Cowboys defense. And I said from the start of the year that they were going to have trouble stopping people over the top because their safeties weren't good. And pretty much Robbie Anderson did what I said. He got over the top every single time against them. And if they're going to keep playing like that on defense, it doesn't matter how many points they scored. It's just going to be in high shootout games where they're going to lose, like what they did with the Packers a couple weeks ago. So I think it's not just an offensive issue. I think it's the whole team that needs to be redone. I think you need to get better safeties in there. You need to have a better play caller. They brought in a play caller in there for this year, and they keep going back and forth, whether it's Garrett making the calls or whether it's him making the calls. You got to have some. You're too indecisive. Decide what you're going to do. Go with it. If it doesn't work, then fine. You start over. But you can't keep going back and forth like that. It's not going to work.
Well, I hope it keeps not working. So, fine with me. Keep doing what you want. Kellen Moore is probably rumored to take over for him, so maybe that's why Jason Garrett doesn't want to let him call the plays, and that's why they're going back and forth. So there you go. Thursday night game tomorrow. Chiefs at Broncos. It's Patty Mahomes' rebound, David.
I think so. Listen, I think he puts out all the stops. I think they're going to find a way. Again, Tyreek Hill's getting stronger. I think he'll find a way to win this game.
He's like Rocky. Is he getting
I don't think it's going to
be. Is he running in the snow?
I don't think he's going to go with three in a row here. So
he's running in Heinz Field. Oh my god! Well, that's a good joke by Pete. Good joke. I mean, the Broncos are what they are. Shout out to Ed in our fantasy league. Keep trying to trade Joe Flacco and trying to hype him up. Nobody wants him. He sucks. He sucks, bro. Stop trying to trade him and get somebody better. Nobody wants Joe Flacco. He sucks, bro. He's not elite anymore. He wasn't. Maybe he had one great year and that's it. He sucks, dude. Stop trying to trade us. Stop trying to trade him for somebody. And I know somebody in our league is going to be stupid enough to take the trade.
They will.
They're already talking shit about it in the chat, so there you go. So there you go. Anything to expect tomorrow? Any hopes for any upset? Are we going to have a good game on Thursday night? I mean, I think the Giant game was decent for 3 quarters, and then the week before that Was it a Green Bay and the Eagles game? Okay, they had a decent run, right?
They've had better games than people have talked about. I would say if you put better teams on Thursday night, they're gonna have better games. Like we've seen when they put Seattle on there against the Rams, it was a close game. We saw the one last week; it was close for 3 quarters. When you put teams that can actually play and not the Miami Dolphins or Jacksonville Jaguars or how we're playing with the Tennessee Titans, if you don't put those teams on, you'll get better games. So I think that's all it really came down to. I don't. Everybody wants to come an excuse saying, "Oh, it's too short of a rest. You can't come back this quick." When it's a good team, we see the teams come back pretty fast. So I think that's what it's about. But in terms of tomorrow's game, I'm actually a little worried about Kansas City. After having 2 straight losses like that, the time when you do think about short rest is after you're on a bad streak. And I think that may still be in their heads. And Denver plays them tough. We've seen Denver play them tough a couple times. Even last year when Mahomes had his monster year, I remember I think it was a Monday night game. It was like a 7-point game down, like a 3-point game down the stretch when they played against each other. They usually play against each other tough. Denver's coming off a game where they just 2 straight wins. And they're getting to the quarterback a lot. They had 7 sacks last week. They had, I think it was like 4 or 5 the week before that. So they're able to get to the quarterback. If they can get to the quarterback on Mahomes, who isn't 100% with that ankle, I think we can have a really good game tomorrow.
I don't think we are. But good explanation.
Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking, buddy.
I thought Ha was going to hit Pete with the...
You should have thrown a flag, bro. You should have thrown a flag.
I knew he was. I knew he was.
No flags today.
I knew he was.
No flags today.
We skipped over a topic that we should have touched on. Monday night, Detroit and Green Bay. The refereeing... The refereeing, I mean...
Trash.
The refereeing has been pretty bad all year long. And it reared its ugly head with a non-PI call, 2 illegal hands to the face twice. And even though the Lions said all the right things, they got hosed. Yeah. You know, they said we could have scored touchdowns instead of field goals. They got hosed. Yeah. Now, David, I think the officiating has been bad for a while.
Abysmal.
Yeah. But I think now that we have Twitter, now that we have 24/7 radio shows that are on sports news network or sports networks. We have podcasts. We have us. We have 800 different angles that shows you how the referee messed up. I think it's being a little over the top because I think back in the day there's probably horrible calls that we won't talk about just because we didn't have the angles that we had. We also didn't have sports radio like that. That's 24 hours where people call in, voice their frustrations.
And the rules are a little different, too. Like, they let them get away with more shit that they don't now.
But
I think the rules are confusing, though. And you see that. When commentators talk about the rules, supposedly, word around the league is, refs don't even want to ref anymore because these rules are so complicated and there's so many gray areas, and it's obviously showing out on the field with these bad calls, which are, making differences in games. So you never know. It's like a crapshoot. So
what's worse is they have the former refs in the booth with them, coming out there to just point out how more pissed off we're going to be over the calls. But
you don't want to screw the refs that are in the booth because they have.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like them there.
They have the advantage of the instant replays.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And they can go back to it and be like, Mike Pereira. Oh yeah, shut up, Mike Pereira. Shut up. I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to hear anyone's voice. Just get ESPN instead of cutting people's livelihoods. Cutting 5,000 jobs every quarter. Don't hire Mike Pereira. He's a waste of money. Or Fox, or whoever you have in there. Yeah. I know ESPN has.
Everybody has one, yeah.
Whoever you replay guy, fire him. And I'm not talking about I don't want him to lose his job now, but don't bring him back after this year. He's a waste of time. I don't care what he thinks. I don't.
A complete waste.
I don't.
It really is.
Because it's not. Because it's only going to piss you off. Yeah. And I'm sure the refs on the field want to punch the guy in the face. Because he's ripping him on a broadcast, but he has the benefit of replay.
Yeah.
So
nobody, not 50,000 people down his neck as he's looking at that replay for 90 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever.
Is there anything that can be done?
My idea for what should be done is 1, hire the refs full time. So there's a lot of part-time refs out there, and 2, have them referee practices because practice will make perfect. Have them referee practices. And then after the practice is over, have them review themselves to say, all right, I fucked up here. All right, you did good here. The more you do it, the better you're going to be at it. And plus, you're going to see different angles in practice. You're going to see real-time game angles. If you're just watching yourself what you did during the game on TV, I mean, they're limited in terms of what you're going to see. But if you actually are doing it every single day in practice while the teams are practicing, you're going to it's going to be second nature to you. So I think as more times they're able to do it, hire them as full-time refs so they get a normal pay, and have them referee practices and review the stuff from practices, and I think that it'll get better.
The owners are going to actually do something that makes sense. I mean, oof. You're asking for a lot, Pete. It's just going to rear its ugly head throughout the season.
Asking for a pass interference replay, and then they never.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing: they're not.
Why even? Why
they're
even?
not.
They're so stupid.
I mean, it's crazy.
They're not. Here's
it's
why
not
the
even
rule.
worth your.
They're not going to overturn it.
What's worse is games like the Detroit game, because you're going to have hands to the face, and they're going to want to review that too. Now it's going to be even worse.
Well, here's the thing: they're not going to. They're not until it gets to the playoffs. I don't think the refs are going to overturn a call because. One, they're probably doing it out of spite because they probably hate the rule. So they're not going to do it just because they hate the rule. And two, these aren't the playoff games. You know, it might cost someone a playoff spot, but it's not going to be magnetized to a point that it was in the Saints-Rams game last year.
You saw it rear its head last year. So.
I can see them overturning things in the playoffs, but as far as the regular season, I don't see it one bit.
It's not consistent, though.
Well, I mean, they are consistent. They're not overturning it.
Yeah, that's true. They are.
Yeah, but if they're not overturning, but they're going to overturn it in the playoffs.
Well,
dude from Detroit got clothesline on a pass interference. That was pretty much a New Orleans play, but it's the regular season, so they don't care. Like, if that happens in the playoff, you got to wonder, are they going to call that now? He got clothesline with 4 minutes to go in the game when Detroit could have put the game away.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's a solution unless you want to try Pete's solution. You know, if you do try Pete's solution, I hope you give him some commission or some percentages of how to make the games better. So, you know, we'll get back more into the NFL on Sunday. Moving along, real quick, the Nationals ended the St. Louis Cardinals yesterday. So half of my prediction is correct. Yep. Unfortunately, I don't want the other half to be right because that means the Astros will make it to the World Series. But can you favor the Nationals versus the Yankees or the Astros?
I think no, just because obviously, you know, the Yankees have that great offense. You know, the Astros have that great offense and have that, you know, two-headed monster. The Nationals have a great rotation, obviously with their big three. They were able to get some timely hits from and a hero that you wouldn't have thought, Howie Kendrick, man. He came up big in the series. He had some big hits. Obviously, they have their possible, you know, MVP candidate, Anthony Rendon. I just don't know once it gets to the World Series if they're going to be able to get these timely hits. Because I think, in my opinion, the Astros offense and the Yankees defense will be able to hit that rotation. So I think you always have to favor the American League. It's just the better and tougher league. And again, this two-headed monster with Verlander and Cole, I mean, that's the best. I'll take them, that two-headed monster, over the Nationals' two-headed monster.
Here's the thing.
And with the Yankees offense.
I think the Nationals are 50-50 with either team. They can run out there with Strasburg, with Scherzer, and then in Game 3 they can throw Patrick Corbin, who looked great yesterday. Granted, it was the St. Louis Cardinals offense, who I don't know how they beat the Braves, Pete, because that offense looked really putrid. Maybe if you throw Soroka one more game, it's a different story, obviously.
Was pretty bad too.
That too. And then Evanderbo Sanchez is pitching no-hit ball, you know, for 6 innings. Again, it's their two might not be equal to the Nationals, but their other two, I'd probably take them over Greinke and whoever the Astros decide to throw in Game 4. Obviously, I take their pitching rotation over the Yankees. Obviously, our offense is a lot better than them. But I think the Nationals are going to be a tough out. You know, and the reason they probably won this series and the series before that, as Pete calls them, notorious chokers, is because they got rid of Bryce Harper.
Yeah, he must be killing himself right now. But can I ask you one question about it? Because I actually stuck to what I said. I didn't watch one pitch of this series. But I got to ask, like, Howie Kendrick was the MVP of the series? Like,
he had timely hits, man. He had timely hits.
Howie Kendrick.
And I think that's been the biggest thing for Washington. Obviously, you know,
it was also
they got Soto and Rendon, but Howie Kendrick was the MVP.
There's also a lot of bad defense by the Cardinals.
But you saw how Washington was losing their wild card game, and then they got those timely hits to take the win and obviously go to the next round. Mm-hmm. You saw with the Dodgers, too. I mean, they were just getting those timely hits they needed to get.
Down 3-1 in the 8th, Game 5.
Crazy. I mean, and that could have sealed the deal right there for the Dodgers. I mean,
With one out.
But who knows? But that's the biggest thing with the playoffs, man. I mean, if you can get those timely hits, those clutch hits, which runners in scoring position, and not waste that opportunity, because against good pitchers, right, you're not going to have a lot of good opportunities.
No, you're not.
You got to be able to capitalize on your opportunities when you're getting to that good pitcher. And that's been the tale for them, I think, and their pitching, obviously.
Were the Cardinals still whining, like whiny brats or whatever?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I just think when you get no hit for 7 innings, for 2 games in a row, I don't think there's anything you can whine about. Their hitting didn't show up. Their hitting didn't show up, and that's why they're going home. They didn't hit at all. That's pretty much it. So half of my prediction is right, and then to David's point, we'll shift to the ALCS. Timely hitting. It's something the Yankees have lacked in Game 2 and in Game 3. And here's one thing I'll say. Analytics is killing the Yankees. Tanaka pitches 6 innings of shutout ball. I take him out.
65 pitches.
Whatever.
67 pitches.
You get away with that. Paxton being taken out early, probably the right call. But then when you get Chad Green up, probably your best guy out of the bullpen outside of Chapman.
He's looked real good.
You only pitch him 2 hitters, and because analytics told you that, for a 4-seamer, Chad Green likes to throw a 4-seamer, and that's what Springer loves to hit. Or it might have been a 2-seamer. It might be a 4-seamer. Mm-hmm. And Ottavino slider is something that, is something that Springer really doesn't see. And then it doesn't work out. You ride the hot hand. And I think the reason the Yankees lost outside of timely hitting, Judge was there, hit the 2-run bomb. Mm-hmm. The play to send LeMahieu, I'm not going to be mad at, because I think he was already halfway down the line. It was just a great play. But that right there, to me, taking out Chad Green was the issue, and he did it again yesterday. Only left him in for 2 hittings to go right to Claney. So by the 8th or 9th inning, the Yankees are out of their bullpen. They're done. They're done. By the 9th inning, they're done with their bullpen. You're going to bring in CC, J.A. Happ, Luis Sessa, Jonathan Loáisiga.
That was crazy, that game.
Brett Garner might come out and pitch. So,
Want a ball Culberson?
So that's my complaint with Game 2. My complaint with Game 3, I thought Severino bounced back really well after the 2 home runs. If your starting pitcher gives you 5 innings, 2 runs, you have to take it. I'm not mad at Severino. I thought 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning, he did really well.
Especially when he hasn't been there all year.
He gave up 2 runs. First inning, after giving up a run, first inning, LeMahieu gets a single. Judge gets an opposite field shift single. First and second, no out. Why is Brett Garner hitting 3rd? God knows why. I have no idea, because analytics said so again.
No sense.
And instead of deciding to bunt the ball, first and second, no out. All right, if it's Gleyber Torres up there, which he should be batting 3rd, then fine. Let Gleyber Torres swing away. But I'd still make him bunt, regardless. Brett Garner should be bunting.
Yeah, normally.
Why? And instead, you don't bunt. Next 2 guys get out. Gleyber works a walk. Didi pops up. There goes your rally. The Yankees should have got out of there with 1 run, and it's 1-1, and you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is for a pitcher to see that first run across the plate. The invincibility is over. Garrett Cole
wasn't great that game.
I mean, I think the Yankees grinded him. I think the Yankees had a perfect game plan.
Well, after the first 2-3 innings, then he started to pitch better. But he won 5, 6 people.
He
wasn't great.
Even in the 4th and 5th inning, the Yankees were grinding out of bats, and that's what they did against Verlander the day before or on Sunday. But that's what lost them. Like, you don't know what it is. How do you know what the inning's going to look like if you have a guy in 2nd and 3rd, 1 out? They're not going to walk Encarnacion to get to Gleyber. How do you not bunt there? And then you take Sevy out in the 5th. Chad Green comes in again, pitches to 2 hitters. You bring in Cayley, then you bring in Ottavino again. Why do you choose to pitch?
Why bring that guy up?
To pitch to Springer again.
Smack it.
Didn't work in the game before, but you did it again. Why? Because he doesn't hit sliders very well. Okay, go with your analytics instead of your gut. Now you're down 2-1.
Got to forget the regular season. Just go with whatever's rolling with you.
Go with your gut.
So, I think the Yanks catch a break with the rain delay today. Tanaka goes. Paxton will go against Verlander in 5, and then we'll see how 6 and 7 go. But you're going to have to beat one of these guys to do it. Dave, do you think they can beat one of these 2 guys to do it? Cole, I think they can. I seen great at-bats. Yeah, now, whether they can continue it, we'll see.
What's scary about Cole though is like you guys said, man, he didn't have his best stuff yesterday, and he was still able to limit the damage to nothing because he didn't give up any runs. Obviously, Didi almost hit a 3-run home run against him. I mean, that ball looked like it was out, so it was crazy. I mean, and that was
aside from Judge,
and that was the timely hitting that was missing for Game 3.
They kept walking Glaber and pitching around Glaber to get to Didi every single time.
Listen, other games Didi hits that ball out. And it's a 3-2, lead now for the Yankees. And who knows, maybe the Yankees go on to win that game. But you saw, I mean, Cole wasn't that good. Verlander wasn't great either, but it's still good pitching. And for me, I think in the playoffs, man, good pitching will always beat good hitting. I'm telling you right now. So,
and here's the thing: the Yankees pitching hasn't been bad.
No, it hasn't. But you see the difference though between Game 1, 2, and 3. How many runs did they score in Game 1? 7. How many runs did they score in Game 2?
They've outscored the Astros.
And then how many runs did they score
collectively? They've had more runs than the Astros.
No, it was 1. Right?
One. Collectively, they had more runs than the Astros.
So
but here's the thing.
You scored more runs in the first game than you did in the
next two.
So they put together.
Which is crazy. That's
Well, it's timely hitting. They've gotten runners on base.
Well, also, we don't have Stanton.
Well, that's another story for another day. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Drama.
I don't know. He's being a bigger baby.
So 5 more years on that contract.
Who knows?
How much left on that contract? $300 million?
I think it's 5 more years. Like
he might
150.
He might retire, man.
He's on a $300 million contract.
He might retire. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I want Stanton to come back. I want Stanton to come back. Obviously, you saw what Stanton could do. First game hits a home run. So it is what it is. Here's the thing that Boone has to do: keep the guy that's riding in the game. You just have to do that. And the thing about this is that the Astros have now seen the complexity of the Yankees bullpen for 3 straight games. That's going to benefit the hitter down the road. And what sucks about this, Cashman never addressed starting pitching since God knows how long. Could have had Garrett Cole, could have had Justin Verlander, could have had both of them. And these guys will take you. Long gone are the days where you would get David Cone, you get El Duque, Roger Clemens to pitch you 6 innings. You go 2 innings to the relief, to your relievers, and then you got Mo coming in. But now, no, we got to do analytics. We got to pitch him two-thirds of an inning, pitch him 2/3 of an inning, bring this guy in for 1 batter. Keep listening to those fucking nerves. That's why we don't have a championship.
By the way, you're right. There's like 9 years left on the deal. It's just,
wow.
And some 3 of those years are $32 million. A couple years are 29. So yeah, it's a lot.
Good job,
This
Derek
contract
Jeter.
is fucking ridiculous.
Good job, Derek Jeter.
Ridiculous amount.
At least A-Rod gave us a title.
It's about 240. It's about 240 million over 9 years.
Well, that's fine, but someone's got to spend it. I mean, we haven't spent it anywhere. We haven't spent it on pitching. That's for sure. He wants to trade. Doesn't want to trade prospects. Doesn't want to give big money to a starting pitcher, and this is why we're here. It's down 2-1, plain and simple. Shout out to you, Cashman. But keep piecing up that bullpen. Great bullpen. Yeah. Whatever. I'm done with my ranting. Hopefully, we win tomorrow, and then we win Friday, and then we'll see what happens in Game 6 and 7. It's a different story pitching in New York than it is pitching in Houston. It's not hot like it is here, so the grip might be different. Maybe that's why Garrett Cole had control issues. So,
well, they're talking about the ball too. So
yeah, let's not even get into that. I don't even want to get into that.
No, it's not loaded now. That's what
I think they took the loaded ball away in the playoffs. That's why the scores are down now.
Whatever. So, real quick, 2 big games. Actually, there's 3 big games. But real quick, your prediction for Michigan and Penn State Saturday.
I think Penn State wins. Mr. Kaki sucks in big games, and I just don't see him pulling out this one.
That's exactly what I would say because you already know I don't like Coach Kaki, and they're at Penn State.
Yeah.
So,
He does.
yeah.
No, I don't.
You like Coach Kaki?
Not going
Never
upset?
like Coach Kaki. No.
Not the upset.
I think his brother's cooler than him. So.
But that's
His
Super Bowl.
brother's better coach.
But that's Super Bowl. Brother Super Bowl. And then Pac-12 after dark, Oregon at Washington.
I like this game.
I like this game. I think it's going to be high scoring.
Yeah.
I like Oregon. I think
The Ducks, baby.
they probably are the best team in the Pac-12. Pac-12 has a lot of really good teams, no great teams, so that makes for pretty good games every weekend.
You get to see a quarterback who's probably going to be picked in the top 5 of the draft. So, I honestly think he's the best quarterback in the draft. I think he's better than Tua.
Herbert?
Yeah.
Really?
But we'll see that just because I think Tua can't fit it into the small spaces that Herbert can. So,
Wow. Look at that.
But we'll see that.
Weren't the Giants interested in him?
What?
Yeah, he didn't want to come out last year. That's why. He would have been the number one pick last year.
Yeah, he would have been.
He would have been the number one pick last. No, Kingsbury.
But he
was still
came off
top.
a bad year, but he came back and now he's having his best year since.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm still happy with Daniel Jones. We'll see.
Oh, hell yeah.
I like what I see from the kid, so we'll see what happens this week against the
Give him
Cardinals.
time, baby. Give him time. Give him the line. Be fine.
I think that isn't there one more game?
For this week?
Isn't Arizona State playing someone good? Arizona State,
Yeah,
Arizona State, Utah.
Yeah.
14 versus 16. Pete, how you not have this on here? It's Pac-12 after dark.
Is it going to be after dark, though? I don't even know. I think it's like a 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock game. Like,
Almost after dark.
yeah, I think it's open. It's
Someone after dark, right?
yeah,
Somewhat after dark.
It says Pac-12 after dusk.
Wasn't that a show after dark?
So,
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
what show?
I used to like that show.
What show?
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
It's
After
the
dark.
scary one. Yeah, yeah.
I thought you guys were talking about like Skinamax or something. What's wrong with you guys?
Come on, man.
It's a family show.
What's wrong with you?
Come on.
Actually, neither game is after dark.
Exactly.
He's like, come on, man.
Oregon, Washington's at 3:30. Arizona State and Utah is at 6.
Yeah.
So neither game is after dark.
Yeah.
But it's always Pac-12 after dark. Usually Pac-12 after dark is on a Friday. I don't think there's any Friday Pac-12 games. But I like Arizona State in this one, even though they're my rivals. I think
Herm Edwards, baby.
Edwards. You play to win the game, and he's 5-1.
He won last week on that upset, and I picked that.
And he's been winning games, so I think good weekend. Those are the 3 best games. I mean, unfortunately, the SEC is playing bums again.
I'll go with Arizona State, too.
I'm going Arizona State.
I'll go with
Arizona State, too, man.
There we go. And then before we get into the boxing sad news, Patrick Day, who faced Charles Cromwell this past Saturday on the Usyk undercard, suffered a brain injury. He passed away today. He was in a coma. I've known him from covering Broadway boxing at BB King's, which no longer exists in the city. So rest in peace to Patrick Day. Good kid, didn't have to box, came from a good from a good family.
Yeah.
Just heartbreaking. Second death in about 3 or 4 months. So I know the critics are going to come out again and say boxing this, boxing that. It's a tough sport. It's not a sport, actually. I don't know. It's a blood sport if you want to call it that. That's the type. You don't play boxing.
Yes.
You don't play boxing, but it's saved more lives than it's killed.
Yes.
So
Yes.
say what you want about that.
You just talk to all the boxers, and they'll tell you that.
That's it's an avenue for a lot of
Feeds a lot of
underprivileged
families.
kids. Not even underprivileged, but people living
Feeds a lot of families.
people living below the poverty line.
getting killed.
So before you come criticize boxing, ask how many lives boxing has saved.
Know your background first.
Son of a bitch.
And shout out, and also prayers for Charles Cromwell. Whenever you kill someone in the ring,
Oh, it hurts.
he said he wanted to retire, but he said he's not going to retire because that's not what Patrick Day would have wanted. So, sad news to report, but it is news. It's a sport we love.
Yeah.
But we do have a big fight this weekend. Arthur Betterbeeve against what is his first name? Alexander Godzik.
Yeah.
One of the best fights to make in boxing.
That's on a Friday.
It's on a Friday, so it's not like you got to waste your Saturday.
It's on free T. It's on ESPN.
It's on
not Plus.
ESPN. It's in Philly, so if you want to go to Philly for that fight, you can.
You guys going to Philly?
Pete's gonna be. He's going AC Saturday. So
You going to AC on Saturday?
might get-
Oh, man.
He's gonna fist bump.
Yo, whatever you do,
I am not fist
whatever
bumping.
you do,
I'm
he
not
might,
fist bumping.
he might see Sam Darnold down there.
Hell
Are you going with Sam?
no.
Are you going with
Stay away
Sam?
from the hookers on the street,
No,
okay?
whoa,
Whoa.
whoa, whoa.
Kid show.
Exactly. What are you talking about?
That's what everybody
I've
knows
never
that.
seen
Everybody knows that.
I've never seen hookers on the street in AC.
No.
And maybe in the casinos, but
Yeah.
Where are you and Sam going to be chilling at?
I don't know what Sam is talking about.
The bartender said.
no, Sam
bartender
Darnold. Where are the Jets playing? Are the Jets playing in Philly this weekend?
No.
You sure? Oh, they're going to New England. So
Yeah, New England.
Sam's gonna go party Saturday night with you,
Get the hell out of
and
here.
then fly up to Foxborough.
Yo, make sure you buy yours.
Wow, yo, bet
He'll be
the
in
house,
Hoboken.
bet the house on the Patriots
He'll be in
because Sam
Hoboken.
Darnold will be in AC with this guy.
He'll be in Hoboken.
So, with that being said, who do you got in this fight?
I'm going to go with Beater Beef. I think by knockout. First of all, I think no matter what happens, it's going to be a knockout. These guys are two hard punchers. They go for it. They will take the punch to deliver some punishment. So I do think it will be a stoppage if somebody's going to get knocked out. I'm going with Beater Beef in the 7th.
I'm going with Gudzik. Gudzik, I mean, as sad as it is to say, destroyed Stevenson, probably retired him. He's from that Ukrainian crazy-ass program that has Usyk, Lomachenko. You saw what Derevchenko did with Triple G a couple weeks ago. And, he's in that bunch. And what he did to Donna Stevenson, maybe Kovalev could have done, maybe somebody else could have done, but he did it. He pushed Stevenson over the edge, and I think he's just the better boxer. But it's going to be a clash of two Eastern Europeans. Mm-hmm. You don't see that very often. They usually don't fight each other, but it's going to be fun. Philly, you're in for a treat, man. But I got a Gudzik winning that fight.
Good. Can I add one thing? A little birdie told me that Gudzik doesn't like. He cranks up a little bit when he takes a couple body punches, so that's something to definitely keep an eye on when the fight's going on.
That little birdie, Ryan Scalia?
No.
Okay. just
definitely no.
You don't like Ryan Scalia?
No, it's not.
Damn.
No, I like Ryan, but it wasn't him.
Wow, you hating on Ryan Scalia?
Dude, Ryan's
We're
great.
not hating on you, man.
No, I like Ryan. He's really cool.
We're not hating
man.
on you, bro. Sorry.
Dude, I would never hate on you.
Not haters on you.
Stop it.
Oh,
you know I like it. No, I like Ryan, but it wasn't him.
Okay, well, we're at the 35-minute mark, Dave.
Guys, I think it's going to be a great fight. Very entertaining. I agree with Pete in terms of somebody's going to knock the other one out, but I'm going to go with Gudzik also. Listen, don't mess with those Ukrainians, man. They're tough sons of bitches. And listen, I definitely think it's going to be a knockout. I say
somebody's liver's going to be on ice after the fight.
It should be a really good fight, and I'm glad Top Rank and Main Events, or who made it happen? I don't even know who Better Be's promoter is. Is it Al Heyman? No, it's a Canadian dude.
It's Top Rank and
the other guy.
Just say the other guy.
No, I don't want to say that.
And for you, other guy, here's a nice Blank Man T-shirt. I think it's GYM Promotions. Maybe I'm wrong.
Is he
I don't know. I'm sorry. It might be Yvonne Michelle.
Yeah,
it might not be.
I think it is.
It might be somebody else.
We'll
blame it on Pete anyway. He's gonna hang out.
Everything's on me.
He's gonna hang out with Sam Darnold this weekend.
Everything's on.
But that's
me.
our show.
Hey, have fun in AC. Have fun.
If you go to Harrah's at the pool, you'll see him and Sam Darnold. Take a pic.
It won't be Sam
Send
Darnold.
it to us.
You bring your chain too.
It'll be
chain.
It won't.
Gangster,
OVO
bro.
Promotions?
What?
Somebody put down OVO Promotions or some shit.
Oh, no, that's Drake. The fuck out.
It might be OVO Promotions.
No way. For the fight?
Yeah, what?
Damn, Drake's taking over?
It's not Drake's promotion. Shut up, dude.
OVO is Drake.
Oh, my God.
OVO is Drake, though.
Whatever, we'll find out. It probably is OVO Promotions. Or he might be making fun of us because he is Canadian. Isn't Drake Canadian? I don't know. We'll look it up.
Is.
We'll get back to you Sunday. We got to run. Peace.
Later, mi gente.